what is up, my fellow peeps? This is Carpe with a video sound which I haven't really done before, and this is really different content than what I usually do. Usually you'll see me post clips and stuff on my channel, so I'm trying something new for once, but if you don't like it, it's my party, no cry if I want to. If I'm being a bit quiet, it's because it's 10 at night and my mom is sleeping. She has work tomorrow, and I'm in my living room telling the story, so I'm trying to be quiet about it. And fair warning for you guys, this story is about psychedelic drugs, so if you aren't about that shit, I highly recommend you click off this video. So with a bit of context to start off with, at the time of this story, the only drugs I'd ever done was smoke pot, and I was a pretty heavy smoker at the time. I would smoke about 2 to 3 grams a day, and I would smoke out of my dab pen that I had at the time. It was a really nice dab pen setup I had. I used to puff on that thing like it was a vape, but that's besides the point. I wanted to experience something a bit more powerful, I guess. That's why I decided to do shrooms. I don't really recommend this. If you're ever going to do drugs, I recommend you just stick to weed, nothing other than it. People like to say that weed isn't really an addictive drug, but depending on the person, that isn't really true. Actually, just a couple months ago, I had to quit smoking. I decided I'd do it for my health, and it was personally hell on earth. I actually had to go to the hospital from dehydration, because I got so sick that I couldn't keep down fluids. But that's a story for another time. Maybe if we get enough likes on this video, I'll make that video next. But anyways, I wanted to try something new instead of just weed. My idea was to try shrooms. Now, if you're going to do shrooms, make sure you get them from a reliable source. First of all, there is so much of this shit going around these days. It's really dangerous. Now, I was getting them from my sister. She had done some of them the night prior. She got them from the neighborhood kids that go around doing basically shrooms and acid. It's basically what they do. Yeah. But she tried to microdose by eating just a cap and a stem, which, if you're taking normal shrooms, should be no big deal. But she ended up tripping balls, and she called me about it that night, telling me about how powerful they were. And I was like, yo, you should give me some of those. And so the next day, she ended up driving over with the shrooms in a napkin. And it didn't seem like a lot, but it was actually 2 full grams of this shit. Now, to those of you that have done shrooms before, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'll give some more context to that later. So, to do this trip, we decided that we would drive to a park nearby me that had a small forest and a playground area, so we could sit on the swings and this weird bridge that was made out of like chains would bounce and stuff, because we thought it'd be trippy if we sat on that. So I brought my dab pen with me, and my sister, she was the driver and the trip sitter to basically drive me around and I guess entertain me while I was on my experience. Now, for those of you that don't know this, THC makes shrooms quite a bit more potent, so it can really affect a trip. Now, like I said, I was a pretty heavy smoker at the time, so I didn't really think it would affect me too much, but maybe that's why some of the stuff that happened happened. So, I'm trying to be conservative with my dab pen on this trip, because I didn't want to have it affect me too much, because I know that if I got super high, it would still affect me, so I was trying to be a little bit conservative. But nonetheless, I was still puffing on it quite a fair amount. But I decided I'd start off with just part of it, so I started off with 1 stem and a cap. And I was sitting on the swing, chewing, and I was chewing these shrooms, and the first thing that comes to my mind is the harsh taste. If you guys have ever owned a hamster, you guys know the smell of the hamster cage, kind of like an earthy, grainy thing. That's kind of what these shrooms taste like. They were very hard and chewy, kind of like eating a plastic straw. I guess you could call me a turtle. But yeah. So I did eat these. So I'm just sitting there, and within the first 15 minutes, I start laughing my ass off. But I'm not really tripping at all. No visuals, just a really fun body high. And it lasts like this for about 45 minutes. And at about the 1 hour mark, I'm only feeling the body high. So I decided that I'd eat the other cap. I basically tell my sister that I'll start with that other cap now, since I'm not really seeing any visuals. But we decided to get in the car and get food right as I'm doing this. So me and my sister, we both decided on McDonald's because it was really close and really cheap. So we drive to the drive-thru, and I'll never forget this part. I got a blue freeze thing. It was like a Fanta freeze. I think that was it. Like I said, I'll never forget the taste of it, but I don't remember the branding. Maybe I didn't want food or something. Maybe the high was hitting me different, but I didn't order food. But we ended up stopping at home to grab something, and as we pull into the driveway, and for clarification, guys, I live in a trailer park, so we don't really have garages, but we have these carports where we have these corrugated steel sheds, and I was looking at the shed, and I realized that it was moving, and I realized these shrooms were starting to kick in finally. And I was looking at the shed, and I started actually like gasping over it because it was incredible. I couldn't believe my eyes. And I actually, this is funny. I actually got out of the car and went to touch the shed to see if it was moving, like see if I could feel it moving. It was fucking crazy. But anyways, I went inside and grabbed whatever it was that I needed, and we left again. And now this is where everything starts to get a little blurry because those of you who do shrooms a lot probably have realized. These were not normal shrooms. These were a special type of shrooms called penis envy. I know, funny name. And penis envy is extremely potent compared to other shrooms, about 2 times as potent. So I was tripping at this point. It was kicking in quite fast, and I stopped seeing stuff as it was. It started going by in moments, like where I'd be conscious for moments, and then I would forget parts in between it. If that makes sense. But I would show up places not knowing exactly how we drove there or got there. And I showed up in the car driving on a road down by the river that we had, and it has a berm with train tracks. That's a 20-foot tall berm, 40 feet off to the left of the road. And there's a freight train that was passing up on top of it. And as shrooms naturally do, they tend to distort your vision. And so this train, it looked like it was about to jump off the tracks in the road. It actually kind of freaked me out for a little bit, because I was really wondering as to what was actually going on. Anyways, we pulled up to the waterfront area. It's a parking lot near a restaurant, and it's right next to the waterfront. And we decided that we would park the car and get out. And as we were doing this, I was trying to describe to my sister all the things that I was seeing, but it was really, really hard. We went down this sort of hidden staircase under one of the older restaurants that was abandoned. And it led down towards the water in a little concrete patio. And it's so cool. I've been there sober many times. It's really fun. But I didn't know it, but at this point it was actually getting near sunset. I had taken these shrooms at 4 p.m. And it was midsummer. It was getting later in the day, probably about 7 or 8 p.m. I was like 3 or 4 hours in. And yeah. I was looking at the concrete stairs and the broken, like, concrete patio that you sit on. And it's not, like, broken to the point where, like, it's unstable. Like, it's stable because it's massive. Probably about a 2-ton chunk of concrete. But, I was looking at it, and I'll never forget this part. I can still memorize what this looked like. But the concrete, it looked like shag carpet. And the water looked purple. Almost like a lean or some shit. It was really fucking peaceful. Like, not gonna lie, it was fucking awesome. It was kind of like one of those trippy desktop wallpapers that you might see, but it was even better because I was experiencing it in my own eyes. We decided that we'd walk around for a bit on the waterfront. We found this guy who reminded me of my dad, actually. He even had the same type of drink that my dad used to drink, Mike's Harder Mango Lemonade. Not sponsored. Please don't sponsor me. I feel like, this is weird, I feel like I was almost destined to meet this person while I was on my shroom trip. It was very weird that the universe brought me to meet this man. I could tell he was an alcoholic just like my dad was, based on the fact that he was holding beer and looked extremely drunk and homeless. And you could tell by his eyes were yellow and stuff. Just all the signs of alcoholism. But there was something about him that I'll never forget. I honestly hope that I find this man again and get to see him sober. Because in the shrooms, it looked like he had a chin like Mr. Incredible out of the Incredibles movie. But after that, we talked with him for a little bit, but we drove to the boat launch after that, and we decided I would sit on the end of the dock. I, uh, I was kind of in like a semi-meditative state for about an hour or two. It was honestly kind of life-changing. I figured out a lot of my problems, I guess. Like, I it was a lot of stress relief. I was almost in a daze, but I was also like extremely focused, and I saw words in the sky. It was really trippy. Go figure. It's trippy being on shrooms. Uh, Unfortunately, it was getting kind of late, so we ended up having to go home. And as we pulled into the driveway of the house, I actually started to feel sick. And vomit warning for you guys. I actually ended up throwing up over the railing of my porch. And after this, I was probably at the 7 hour mark of this 8 to 9 hour trip. But I was ever so slightly starting to come down off it now. And I actually ended up having a minor panic attack because I was so worried about me throwing up again that blue freeze tasted exactly the same way coming back up, though. I won't forget the taste. That's why I remember it so well, actually. But I ended up sitting on the porch with a glass of water for about 20 minutes or so, asking my sister how long it would be until I was normal again. And I ended up feeling a little bit more okay, probably about 40 minutes after that. And I went inside and watched YouTube until I was completely sober, about 2 hours. Even though the trip didn't really end well, I still consider it a great trip. It was a very life-changing event. Definitely something I would do again if I had the chance. But like I said, you guys need to be really careful if you ever plan to do this stuff. You gotta get them from a reliable source. They're really fun though if you can get your hands on good, reliable stuff. And remember, don't take too much. Always make sure you got a trip sitter. All that good stuff. But yeah, that is the end of this story, guys. If you made it to the end, leave a comment saying llama to prove that you really made it to the end of the video, and I'll believe you. Might even give you a heart comment. But please leave a like and subscribe so that I know to make more videos like this. Have a great day or night, depending on where you are. See ya.